Page 2, Goodbye Old Paint. Well, let's see what we have. We've got notes all over everywhere. Eighth notes all over everywhere, but all right, we'll just go through the system that I use to learn a piece of music, and I trust that system to get me there. I look it over. It's about a page and a half long, approximately. I just want an idea of how long it is. It's no big deal. Treble, bass, clef. Always check the clef signs. They will be treble and bass for a long time, but always check them. Just get in the habit of checking them because they won't always be that. 3/4 time signature. Let's take it one hand at a time. We're kind of starting to spread out and scrunch up and get away from this 5-finger position. And if you've been reading finger numbers, well, good luck because you're about to have all kinds of problems. You start out here. Right hand is 5th finger on the A. That puts the hand here to start. That's just 3, 1, 2, 3. And the thumb comes down. 2, 3, 1. Now here, see the second line, second measure? You want 3rd finger. Instead of 2, you reach down 3. Remember I said before, even with little hands, you need to be able to play any fingers next to each other with a note in between. Or, even with little hands, we need to be able to do that. So in the second line, second measure, it's come down because we have that extra note here. And then you get that quite a bit. Okay. Top of page 3, it's the last measure of the first line. 1 and 2 and second finger now. And you're saying, how do I know if it's 2 or 3 or what finger to use? And the idea is we're trying to put our hand in a position to cover the most notes we can cover. And we're getting ready for what's coming. And in the second line, in the first measure, you have a G and an A. Well, I'm here. I need to be able to cover the A. Well, to do that, I have to use second finger on the E there in the end of the first line. And that's why, see, I'm planning for what's coming. That's pretty much the right hand. Let's do the left hand. We have here and here. Puts the hand here. And I don't know about these other fingers, whatever. It's here. 1 and 2 and just 8th notes. And that's the left hand. Oh. Put them together. Let's start with the second measure. Here, we're here. Here. And I'll hesitate, but that's okay. Right now, this, then here, here. These. Then here, then here. 3rd finger now. So I'll go through and I'll put the hands together. And then I'll go back over it 1,000,000 times or whatever and slowly work out the hesitations. And you need to get where you can play this without looking at the keyboard eventually. Where you can feel this, whatever you need, and this, where the left hand's not moving, you're right there. And then once the hesitations are gone, I think about the articulation. This is very connected. We have phrasing in the right hand. Lift up, lift up, lift up. It's like taking a breath. In the left hand, they have slurs here. Those aren't phrase marks, those are slurs. How do I know? How do I know it's a slur, not a phrase? Because it's the same curved line for either one. And the reason is that you listen to it, and is it a musical thought? Is that a musical thought? And no, it's part of a thought, but it's not a complete thought. So it's not a phrase. It's a slur. Well, in that case, I'm going to connect the left hand all the way through. See, it's quite common in a lot of music when they do slurs, they won't draw slurs over a bar line. They just slur each measure like they're doing the first 2 measures. They just slur each measure. It's understood you're going to connect it all. And the 3rd measure, you see between the stabs, they say legato. That means connect it. So they're telling you keep connecting it because they don't give you the slurs in the left hand anymore. Well, just connect the left hand all the way through. So I'm going to lift up in the right for the phrasing, but not the left. For instance, in the second line here on page 2, it's here. I'm going to lift up here for the phrase, but that's connected. Yeah. Lift up, right hand, not left. Lift up. See, I'm lifting up in the right, but not the left. It's important. Don't lift up in one hand just because you lift it up in the other. No, oh, please don't do that. No. Now, once I have the articulation in, then I think about the dynamics. You have an MP under the staff. You don't need an MP there. It's just MP. You can put an MP between the staff, it's fine. Sort of soft, mezzo piano. And then at the end of the second line, they have an MF above the staff. That's not the way it works. The MF belongs between the staff, where the MP should be. And it applies to the melody. So this is moderately loud, mezzo forte. The left hand just needs to stay in the background somewhere. So they're telling you at the beginning, this is moderately soft, and this comes in a moderately loud. See, that takes care of it. If this stays moderately soft and this is moderately loud, that can do it. However, I think it's better if the left hand went down to soft, because I like more difference between them. This is busy. You're really busy, and it's normal when you get busy like that. You will just gradually get louder. It'll just happen on its own. You won't even think of it. You'll start out okay. But pretty soon you're loud in the left hand. You're drowning out the melody. And so if you just had an MP at the beginning, and then in the end of the second line, when the melody comes in, you give it an MF, that's all you would need. And you know the background, or the left hand's the background. And those are the only dynamics you get until the end. At the bottom of page 3, you get that long diminuendo arrow. You're gradually going to go down to very soft. Well, here you can go up to moderately soft. This is the last line on page 3. Moderately soft, down to soft, it's very soft here. So you just gradually go down. You have to plan it out, because if you don't, you'll be very soft by the end of the first measure here. See, I'm already there, and that's too soon. So you have to plan it out. Now, once I have the dynamics, I think about the speed. Lazily, oh, that's nice. The horse is in no hurry. However, we have a problem here, and we have to deal with this. It's common in piano, where you got to get a speed where everything works. The melody see, that kind of flows along nicely. But if I go that fast, the left hand's going nuts. It's just, no. Well, if I find a speed for the eighth notes, then the melody drags. It's just, I gotta go a little faster for the eighth notes and a little slower for the melody, and somewhere find a speed that fits both. Now at the bottom of the page on page 2, they have a note there where you can play these eighth note pairs and long short. You can swing the rhythm at 1 and 2 and 3. You feel this. 1 and 2 and 3, and to do that. last line on page 3, there's a retard. Remember, that's short for retardando, which means gradually slow down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. A little problem with swing rhythms when you're swinging it. There is a limit to how slow or how fast you can go and still swing. Otherwise, it doesn't swing. Too slow, that doesn't swing. It's just bleh. And too fast doesn't work either. So what we normally do in this is, as you're slowing down, somewhere in there, when it sort of stops swinging, you'll even out the eighth notes. So it's here. I just evened it out at the end. That's typical. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 3 counts. I'm not doing the dynamics, although they don't have any. But I am going to swing the eighth notes because that's a nice feel. It's a nice effect. 1, and ready, and go, and... 2, 3, off.